Welcome to Unapologetically You, an authentic journey to healing.
The podcast where we dive deep into the raw, real, and transformative process of embracing your true self.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ashley. Join us as we share stories, insights, and practical wisdom to help you heal, grow, and live unapologetically.
Whether you're on your own healing journey or simply seeking inspiration, this space is all about embracing authenticity without fear or shame.
It's time to make a move from your relationship
to a relation shift.
Don't hold that like that, Jenny.
All right, so here we are. Back in the studio.
Yes, we're back.
Today we're going to talk about surrender and acceptance.
Yeah, because I think that is something very hard.
It is.
I think there's a lot of people don't understand it. So I know we want to talk about that surrendering is not giving up.
Exactly. And I
Right.
feel like with fall, you know how fall is such a letting go with the leaves
fall,
falling.
yes.
The days are getting darker. Fall is such a great time for introspection, insight, and letting go, clearing the heart space
Yeah.
to call in new.
That is a time for surrendering and letting go, and kind of your letting the old things in the past fall off so that you can kind of
To make
start
way for
over.
new. A lot of times when we are holding on so tightly to something in our past, whether it's an old hurt, a person, anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes even a material, something of material.
Yes.
And I understand, I mean, to keep things of value, but there are certain things where people, you go into certain people's homes and they have their house packed with things that make them kind of hoarders, but it makes
No,
them
isn't-
stuck in their past though.
Yeah.
Holding on to whether a person, whether an emotion or a thing keeps us stuck.
Well,
Keeps us from really, it gives us a false sense of control is what
yeah.
it's doing.
and we hold on to things, and I think this translates to and how we hold on to people is we hold on to things because we're afraid if we let go of it or get rid of it, at some point we're going to be like, oh, I needed that. Why did I do that? I want that back. Like, I should have never done that. And so to avoid the what if or how we would feel if we got rid of it, we keep it. And I think we do that with people as well. Like, that's why we stay in stuck relationships. That's why we hold on to, the feeling of, if you have an ex or something that you're going to get back with them because you're afraid if you walk away from it, if you let it go, if you get rid of it, then at some point you're going to regret doing that. And
People hold on to anger because it gives them a false sense of control. They feel
Yeah.
like if they hold on to their anger, they're hurting the other person when really they're hurting themselves.
yeah.
Letting go is so freeing.
Yeah.
I was thinking today when you and I had talked that we were going to do surrender and acceptance, I started really thinking, and I feel like children are such a good guide for us when it comes to surrender and acceptance.
Yeah.
Young children, until we condition them to be like us, right? But you look at a child and they're playing so freely. If there is somebody that comes on a playground that they don't want to play with, they're running the other way.
Yeah.
They're listening to their instincts.
Yeah.
They're not questioning, am I right? Am I wrong? Do I need to be playing with this person?
Yeah.
No, they're like, see ya. When they do like somebody, they walk up to them. Hey,
Yeah,
want to
they do.
play? Right?
Yeah.
But the point is how kids are so in the moment and they really surrender to what it is they're feeling in the moment.
Well, they don't have the subconscious, the years of subconscious thoughts anymore telling them this right or wrong, or again, what we have put into their head. They
Right.
just have this is what feels. This is
Right,
what I
because they
want
feel
to do.
in. They're not living in their heads. Most of us, by the time we're 15, are living in our heads because we're even training our kids. No, you don't want to do that. No, you can't, do this. No, you should really hang with this person.
Yep.
You really need to stay away from this person.
Yes,
And
this
I mean,
person's
rightfully so.
thinking
We're
this.
there to guide our kids. But at the same time, we're taking away that initial follow your instincts and surrender to what you're feeling.
Yeah. It's funny that you said you were thinking about children and how they view and process
Really
things.
accept what is
Yeah.
also. And they might
Always.
cry it out, but then they're
then they move
okay.
on.
Then they move on.
Then they
but
move
we don't
on.
allow ourselves.
No.
And another thing, it goes back to we don't allow ourselves to feel those emotions. Right. They say as adults, we get many emotions a day, but how many times living in our heads, we're numbed out, we're not realizing what we're feeling. And so we're not allowing those emotions to come up to be able to release them and move on from them.
Right. Well, and the other thing that kids are really good at is, and I was thinking about this because, again, and you and I, we both have the same faith, and we both
absolutely, and we pray. I mean, I pray all the time,
yes,
and I do trust in God.
Right. So I'm thinking of trust and surrender and everything, and I started thinking about children, and then I heard this verse in something I was listening to, and it said, "Have faith like a child," and I was like, dang, because if you think about it, children, as we should have faith in our Father, the children have faith in us. Our word, they trust in. Mm-hmm. Our hope, they believe in. If we say, do this and you'll be okay, they trust that.
Yes.
Get on the bike, ride it. I got you. You'll be okay. Mm-hmm. And they 100% trust that. But God says, surrender this to me. Don't worry about this because I got it. It's going to be fine. Trust that. And we have such a hard time doing that. And I don't know if it's because our children see us.
They do. I agree.
And we can't see God. So our belief is, it's like, okay, I know you're there. I trust you're there, but I still want to have control of this. I'm still going to, I'm controlling how I'm riding that bike.
With kids, I feel like you said it best. They trust in us. Mm-hmm. So we are guiding them. If you tell a child the world's evil, they're going to believe that the world is evil, right? Correct. If you tell a child the world is good, most people are doing the best they can, they're going to believe the world is good and most people are doing the best that they can.
Yes.
So for us as adults, we lose a lot of our ability to really follow our natural instincts.
Yes.
Because maybe we don't want to be rude. We start to not trust within ourselves. We start to second guess every single thing, decisions we make. And that is when it becomes we're not following the path that God has for us. We're not aligning with our true purpose, our true nature.
No, if anything, I think we're getting ourselves way off a track. And again, I was listening to this podcast, and it was always like, how am I going to change this? How am I going to make this better? What am I going to do? And it's basically you're saying, I'm in control of this, and I am the only one that has the answers, and I am the only one that can fix this. So we get in this mindset of, I am going to control, this is the outcome that I believe is supposed to happen. So I am going to control everything in that direction. And all of my thoughts and everything that I am doing is only based on my understanding. Mm-hmm. And usually that understanding, I don't believe is correct. And so if we're not surrendering what is going on in our lives, if we're not saying, I'm not in control, how are we going to get through this? How are we going to get to the outcome? Give me the strength, take these worries. If we're not letting that go and allowing, like you said, you got to just sometimes allow things to happen, then I feel like we're always going to end up with an outcome that wasn't meant for us.
Because we're trying to control it.
Because we're controlling it in the direction of only our thoughts and understanding, and it's not correct.
And the saying, God helps those who help themselves. Yes, we have to do the inner work. Yes. If you want to switch careers, yes, you have to go out and think, okay, what kind of career is going to be good for me? Let me start networking or whatever you need to do. However, you do the work, but then the pulling back and trusting God, trusting in the higher power and letting go. And we really, truly surrender in. Things come into our lives sometimes that are more beautiful than we could have expected. they say a lot of times the visions we have for our life are so small. Like God may have bigger visions.
Oh, yeah, our visions are so
but we're not
small
allowing him
compared
to
Yeah.
give us that bigger vision because we are suffocating.
We're holding on to
on
our
to this vision we have. Comes down to ego. Going back to the child. Children, when they're young and little and they're on the playground, they don't have the ego yet.
Nope.
And to really surrender, you have to also let go of the ego.
Absolutely. You have got to, I mentioned a lot David Nagel, but he is someone that always preaches that you have got to silence that subconscious. That subconscious is not your voice. It is somebody else's. Yet we will fall into that so often and let that guide us into decisions and behaviors because we are believing that's my inner voice. That is not your inner voice. It's not. Like that's your
the noise. That's noise.
Yes. Yeah.
So you said you've been reading this book, Discover the Goodness of Today.
Yeah. Well,
what's it called?
No. It's called The Joy of the In-Between.
So tell me, this week you've been reading it.
Yeah.
So what have you learned from it that you can
So there's
share
a
with the
lot
listeners?
of different stories and scriptures in there that are different, that this author is talking about how she had to surrender and let go. And there is this in between of what we want and what God wants us to have. And in all these different situations, it's that in between. Well, this happened and wanting then that this is going to be the outcome. And sometimes you got to rest in that in between until God gives you what you're supposed to have.
And sometimes the in-between is the most powerful part.
That's
the most transformative part.
Yes, and we want to get rid
in-between
of that.
could be so beautiful and magical.
Yes, and so she's writing this as I try to always erase my in-between. There's all these very good stories in there of just trying to basically control and get rid of that acceptance of what is right now. And it's very, you read them and you start to say, okay, there is joy in the in-between and there are lessons and there is growth. And it's really, if you have not read it, read it because everybody.
The joy of in-between.
Yeah, everybody is at a point of in-between with something.
On a day-to-day basis, it's good to ask yourself, what do I need to let go of today?
Yeah.
Because we're always carrying around things, thoughts, an emotion we don't really need.
Yep.
And surrendering into emotions, that's hard. Because when you have grief, when you have sadness, when you have heaviness in your heart or you're angry, those emotions are so uncomfortable. You want to run. You want to run. You want to resist them and you want to give up, or you just want to crawl in a ball and be stuck. Emotions are so temporary, we don't understand it. It's when we surrender into them that we can fully let them go.
Yes.
When an emotion comes up, if it's anger, people want to run, or they think it's bad. They start labeling, they think they're bad. It's when they latch onto the emotion that it's hard to let go of the emotion.
Yeah.
You have to feel into it. As uncomfortable as it is, emotions are like waves. They don't last long. If you allow them to come, if you see them for what they are, and if you allow them to move through you, even if it's uncomfortable, don't resist.
Right. And I went through this the other day. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to feel any of the feelings I knew that I was going to feel. And so you sit there for a minute and you start nope, I'm good. And then I was like, but I'm not good. But
you admitted that to yourself. That's powerful.
Yeah. But then in admitting it,
it's okay not to be okay.
It is, which by the way, that book is here as well. Over there, which is also a good read. But I cried all day. My eyes hurt, my head hurt, but I got it out. I literally just let it, if I was making dinner, if I was going to cry, I'm going to cry making dinner. It's your body's way of letting go of hurt and whatever it is, it's your body's physical way of getting that out of you as well.
And it's so beautiful that you're in touch with your emotions.
Yeah.
A lot of people numb out. They're so numb, they're cut off from their bodies, they're living so much in their head, they don't even know that's what they're feeling.
Right. One of the things that I know we said we wanted to talk about is the difference between surrendering and just acceptance. Because I think with acceptance, and it's so tricky because acceptance is good in a sense, but just because surrendering doesn't mean I accept it and that's just, it is what it is. It's not going to change. I am stuck in this moment, so I'm just going to deal with it. I think acceptance is, okay, I don't have control over this at the moment, and I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I'm going to have faith that I believe, and you've said this, if it is a desire that you have, then God will answer it at some point. So I have an acceptance in the waiting, not an acceptance and giving up. Is that like, how do you?
Yeah, and acceptance is allowing yourself to look at a situation and ask yourself, how is this situation benefiting me? And I know that sounds so hard when you are going through something that's
You don't feel as benefiting.
So
at
losing my
all.
dad,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people would look at that and say, there's no way you're going to benefit from a situation like that. Now, as much as I'll still hurt, I miss him terribly. I would do anything to have my dad back.
Yeah.
However, it has taught me to look at life in a more delicate way. Look at life that it could be taken away from you at any time.
Yeah.
I have slowed down since my dad has passed. It has taught me I don't need to be rushing around and fill my plate with all of the things. I need to be present. I need to be able to slow down. Now, that's a challenge for me. But since he's passed, I keep reminding myself, slow down. You don't need to be rushing. You don't need to pack your plate with all these things.
Right.
I looked at that situation. Losing my dad was awful. It sucked. However, it's not going to bring my dad back for me to sit in my grief and to be angry and to be in victim mode. What is going to help me is to look at the situation. How can I grow from this? This situation teach me? How can this situation be a positive force in my life? Because we get to choose. Even though surrender is, yes, giving it to God,
you have a choice.
We have a choice to make. How do we want to feel?
Yeah.
I mean, sadness will come up, but you can look at the sadness as a way to teach you, opposed to stay stuck in it and stay in your victim mentality.
Well, people always ask that why question. Why is this happening? Why did that person do that? Why did God take this person from me? Why did God allow this? And there's that verse, like, lean not into your understanding, your own understanding, right? Because our understanding is not God's. Like,
there's something bigger. It goes back to the vision.
Yeah.
I have a vision for my life. I have a way I want my life to go. Still, though, I'm doing the work to go in the direction of my vision. But at the end of the day, I still want to give it to God. Maybe his vision is bigger than the one I have. Maybe I'm supposed to be used in another direction opposed to my vision. So again, it's the open heart. It's the being able to be open to what is and also allow yourself to change paths. A lot of change is the only thing in life that's constant.
Oh yeah, change is constant until
if you
death.
can't get
even
used to change, you're gonna have a hard time in this life.
Absolutely.
Just hence our candle.
Yeah.
New beginning, fresh start.
Always.
Every day is a fresh start.
It's not, God doesn't always give you everything that's peaches and cream, right? He allows he sometimes allows people into our life that are going to hurt us. And sometimes he allows situations to occur at certain times that causes pain and that causes hurt. But that purpose in that is meant to give us something that we need that is relevant to our purpose that God has planned for you.
In our evolution.
Yeah. So there is, I kept questioning, that we've talked about, that person that was in my life with that breakup. And, there are still times I'm like, why did you do that? And I feel like I hear God say, if I didn't, you would have not seen parts of you that were patterns that you kept allowing in your life if I didn't show you what still needed healed in yourself.
Right.
And that allowed me to see these things that were very much broken still inside of me. Mm-hmm. And so it gave me the opportunity to be like, oh, I do need to heal those in order for me to move on to the person I'm supposed to be and get back on the path that I'm supposed to be on.
Well, and it's allowing the higher power to use you as a vessel. It's for you. You wouldn't be sitting here right now helping other people who may be on the path to healing. And you don't know how else your life's going to unfold in directions of helping others. If we didn't go through these things that cause adversity and, we gain resilience, how would we be able to, one, appreciate other people? You're not going to, because when you go through these things, you start to see the humanness in others, because it teaches you that, in a sense, everybody is broken. Everybody goes through things.
Yes.
So you start to almost understand that this is the way of life. You start to be more compassionate towards yourself, towards others.
And I keep going through these at different, especially over the last couple of years, I keep going through these different shifts that God is introducing into my life, and just this week, like a major one. And I don't know if it's because of that moon, or I don't know if it's because of people that he was bringing into my life, but such a massive shift in how I'm thinking and feeling and viewing things. And one of the things that I started really wanting to understand, and one of the reasons that we started this podcast was the healing. And for me, I was always like, you never stop healing. You will continue to heal until the day that you die. And so I started wondering, like, these shifts and these, I've had to go through letting go. I've had to go through forgiveness. And I've had to go through now surrender. And I am almost getting this thought of, like, God is saying, I'm going to all of these different layers that you have to go through to be healed. I'm going to put you through them. I'm going to put you in situations. I'm going to allow you to be in these to understand what it feels like, and then understand how to heal from them. And I now I'm leaning toward that. I believe at some point the thing that my soul, who I am, is going to be healed. And then I'm going to use that in my purpose. That's where I'm leaning forward with that.
You're living your purpose now. You're on the path to living your purpose.
Yeah.
Or else you wouldn't be having all these shifts. You wouldn't be having all this awareness. You're having it because you are aligning more with your purpose.
Which is uncomfortable, by the way.
And so for the listeners, ask yourself, what is healing to you?
Yeah.
Because it's so important to really take a look at healing, and how can you use healing to be able to also help others.
Yes. There's a lot of purpose in all of that same purpose in all of our lives. Is how are you using what is going on in your life to help somebody else?
Carl Jung said, we take our shadow side, and instead of going darker in it, if you let the light shine on it and use those shadows and the things in your life to help others and to inspire others, that is how you will heal.
Yeah. See, I believe that. I think too much we want to get rid of the dark. We want to keep it hidden. We want to keep our things in the shadow.
Your dark could help thousands of people.
Sometimes I think our dark and how we're feeling about that is actually truly part of our purpose.
And so it's seeing it, though, and allowing yourself to be aware of it and asking the questions. What am I supposed to be doing? And surrendering to hear the answers.
Yeah. Well, and that's the
your
thing.
Pain could be your purpose.
Oh, I love that. I like that. So this morning I was leaving the gym, and I get in the car, and I have the key fob or whatever. So there's no like something to put your key in. You got to push the button. So I push the button, nothing's happening, and it's saying key fob not recognized. And I'm like, it's right here. Like I have
That's
it.
Annoying, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like everything I did, even the way I knew to start the car if the key fob battery wasn't working, wasn't even working. And I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like, I'm doing all the right things, and I keep trying and I keep looking, and now I've set my car alarm off, and yeah, I've set the car alarm off. I'm freaking out, and I'm like, do I walk? And I'm sitting here like, okay, I can get out. Maybe I'm out of gas. I might be out of gas. The gas station there, I can walk and get gas. Or do I call my cousin who's right down the road? She can get me gas. I'm like, I was even like, maybe I call Jenny. I'm like, Jenny, I don't think I'm going to make the podcast. And I am literally I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm looking for my insurance. I gotta call my insurance. Gotta get a tow.
Oh my. So it became a thing.
It became a whole thing because
Spectacle.
I'm trying to, and I was a spectacle in my car because this thing happened. And now I am sitting here trying to figure out all of the way. I'm doing all of the things. And like, it literally, I was like, it was a loud stop. Put the key down, sit down, breathe. Like, take a minute. I'm not in control of, I'm too worked up in what has happened and trying to find the solutions that nothing is working. And I'm not like thinking it through and trying to be like, okay, what, instead of trying to figure out 5 solutions at one time and all over the place, let's just take a minute. So I was like sitting there, I'm like, okay, all right, all of these things or whatever this outcome of this, like, get out of my head and let me just like
Be. Yeah.
let me just be. And then I'm like, okay, maybe there's just like a glitch. I don't know. So then I put on the brake, I push the thing, and the car starts.
That's a perfect analogy, though, with life, because when we are so much in our heads and we're in a panic, we're not thinking clear.
No.
We're not going to make good decisions.
No. And had I not stopped,
You need to slow down
and just breathe, I would have had a tow company there and all of these things towing my car, which then would have trickled into the rest of my day, and none of that was needed. Absolutely
Unnecessary.
None of it is totally unnecessary. But that's what I was going to do.
So the next time you're in a panic,
you gotta stop.
you're knee deep in emotions, stop, breathe, and just let go. That is when that's your time to just surrender.
And the right answer.
And the right answers will come. You'll know what to do next.
Yes. You were gonna call the tow company.
You were gonna like get all the things done today.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I was literally laughing. I'm like, oh, good one, God. Like, that was funny. But so I will always now going forward.
take that moment.
Yeah, with all things, it's not just related to.
Sometimes it's those things are the signs you need a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Divine timing.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
That's
that gives me chills. When I
Yes.
think of divine timing, I get chills.
Are trying to control things. It is still God's timing, divine timing.
Me too.
Yeah.
And when I look back over my life, at the time I couldn't understand why certain things were happening.
Mm-hmm.
Look back, I'm like, wow, I can understand because I was ready at that time for this.
You try and think of, you think of moments even where like you made mistakes and you did things and you're like, how is this connected?
Do you really do
good?
things wrong though?
No.
Are they really mistakes?
No. And that's like where you're divine timing.
Divine
Divine
timing.
Like it was supposed to happen in the way
And
that it
sometimes we don't see the bigger purpose.
Right.
We don't see the big picture. I feel like.
did. Yeah. I always
So a lot of times when we see these things going on in the world we don't understand why they're happening. There is a bigger purpose and picture
yeah.
there that we a lot of times don't understand.
Oh yeah. I always think about
But we're all interconnected.
absolutely.
And we need to also stop when these people are doing violent acts, as hard as it is, you got to look at their humanness.
Yeah.
And how broken they must be.
Where did their faith go? And at
Yes.
what point did they lose that to go down this? I don't think anyone is born evil. I don't think
either.
that anyone is born and has intentions to become evil. And I don't always. And
We're
it can be
born
up
in
to
God's
debate.
perfect image.
We are. So
Back to surrendering, accepting what is. If something is going on in our lives and we are resisting, it's going to keep coming up until we accept it. That's when real change
in every different
starts
way, too.
to occur.
it'll manifest itself in different
100.
ways.
You're going to keep repeating those patterns.
Yes.
If you are staying stuck, you're going to notice the same situations keep coming to you.
And then you're going to sit there and you're going to say, why is this happening? It always comes back to you. You are doing something. You are making some choice. You are holding on to something. You are trying to control something that is allowing you to keep in these patterns and making these decisions.
What are some tips you want to give the listeners on surrendering and accepting in their lives?
I think that one is that take a moment in certain situations and breathe before you're jumping into making a decision. I think allow yourself to feel and process your emotions. Practice that saying, I'm not in control of this, because you're not. I think you have to have faith in something, in some type of higher power. And I think it becomes a daily thing to say to yourself. I think affirmations and repetition in saying that today, God, whoever your source is, I am surrendering this to you. And I'm not meaning Jackie called it, it's not a wet mop surrender. I am surrendering the worry and the doubt and the anxiety and this issue to you, and guide me in a way that I can continue on the path that you have chosen for me. And I think if you can wake up daily saying that, then you can help yourself let go of the things that are holding you back or keeping you in the patterns that you're in.
Absolutely. And asking God or source or whatever you believe to use you as a vessel. His plan could be so much better and bigger for you than your own plan.
It always is.
It always
It always is.
Your life will turn magical if you do that on a daily basis.
We keep our visions and our dreams very small, but we have a God that can do the impossible. So you
believing.
So you have got to understand that the vision for your life seems impossible to you, but it is so great and it is so grand that you really have to have faith and a belief in that.
When you think about nature, the way that it's like such a beautiful perfection, though.
Why do you think nature
they don't control? If you think about it, the animals aren't controlling anything. They're just going about their day-to-day life, doing what they're supposed to, again, following their true nature. We as humans are the only ones that kind of go against the natural flow by trying to control things. If you look at nature, everything has a perfect place.
Oh, it does.
Everything kind of takes care of, right? It all takes care of itself.
Yeah.
Our lives we could do the same thing in our lives if we surrender, if we learn to go with the flow, and if we learn to know everything is perfect in the moment that it's in.
Be present. Live in the present moment.
When you are in the present, observe what's around you. Observe how you're feeling. We don't do that. We're always wanting to rush to the next thing.
We want instant
results. In our
results.
heads. Or we're always living in our future vision. And again, it's good to have a vision, but you also want to be present.
Which, by the way, we live in a society where we want instant results. That's why we have DoorDash. That's why we have Amazon Prime. That's why, same day delivery. So we have become a society that I want what I want.
Social media.
Want it, I want what I want and I want it right now. And God says, well, you're not in charge of that. It's my timing. And I think because we have gone into this society of having that, there's no more patience and that instant gratification, that has made that very hard then to
a lot of people have lost their ability to, I don't even want to say give up to control, but just to surrender and accept what is.
And wait. Get the book, The Joy of the In-Between, Ashley Hetherington, I think I'm saying that right, founder of the Honey Scoop.
Ooh.
That is too. But read it. It's a great read, and you can actually...
I'm excited. I want to read that.
Yeah, I read it. So you do it within... They're labeled by days, so it's one story a day. But nice. I read ahead. But before we switch to that too, just let people know, because you just had a book launch this week.
Course Corrected. Yes. I wrote it with 15 other women, and the cool thing is Course Corrected is stories that will give you hope and inspiration. It's a story of hope. The book, the proceeds benefit Treasure House Fashions, which is a secondhand store to help underprivileged women. So it's such a beautiful charity to donate to. Check it out. Course Corrected. It's on Amazon.
Amazon. Okay. So Course Corrected, get it on Amazon, and proceeds go to
Treasure House Fashions. Another thing, I had found a free book on YouTube. It is called The Magic of Surrender.
Ooh.
I just started listening to it.
So audiobook?
It's an audiobook.
Okay.
The Magic of Surrender. It's on YouTube. I just started listening to it. I'm probably maybe only about 15 minutes in. It's an hour and a half audiobook. And in the 15 minutes, as far as I've gotten, I'm already like loving it. It's
Good.
kind of hitting me at my
Well,
core. So check it out. Completely
We've
free.
given everybody great sources of things to read and listen to, and I think probably most importantly, if you're finding yourself in this period of waiting and it's uncomfortable, fill that time with, and your mind with, things that help you to
that are healthy.
understand that.
What you put in your mind, I truly believe we start acting out, right? So when you put a lot of junk and garbage, I don't watch the news much, me personally,
I
because
can't.
to me it's very negative. It's such a downer. And when we start filling our mind with things that are positive, things that make us smile, things that bring us joy, that's how we start living our lives as well.
Yes.
So be careful. What garbage in, garbage out. So be careful what you put in your mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
let's
hit
do
me
this.
with this. Okay.
Okay. If you're driving,
Don't
then
do it.
don't do it. You can wait to do this. This is a visualization. Sit upright. You want your back up against something, or you can lie down, whatever is more comfortable for you. Palms facing up, which is a receiving mode. And start with your eyes closed or your gaze softened. And I want you to slowly start following your breath. Every time you take a breath in, see your breath as light. And every time your breath out, you are letting go. Imagine yourself on a river. And while you're floating down this river, some of the waves are high and some are smooth. But I want you to see yourself letting go, letting the river take you exactly where you're meant to go, and trusting that you're going to get where you're meant to go. Feel your body letting go. Feel your mind focusing on the breath. Feel your body and your soul surrendering to what is, to this beautiful moment. No resistance, no holding back. Pure presence. Moving with the waves and trusting. If you feel any resistance coming up, I want you to breathe in through the nose and make a long breath out through the mouth every time you feel resistance. And now you're going to quietly repeat to yourself, I am trusting in what is. I am surrendering to life. I am trusting in what is. I am surrendering to life. And now I want you to flip your palms facing down. This is putting you in a grounding position, grounding your energy, releasing the stress. You might feel a little tingle in your fingertips. And now I want you to visualize a warm sun from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, keeping you safe, keeping you warm, and just trusting you are exactly where you are meant to be. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and just take that feeling with you and just know that you are exactly where you're meant to be. I am going to read. I copied this earlier. It was an unknown, but surrender is openness, full presence, awareness of what's happening, curiosity, and immense appreciation. And it takes so much less energy than control.
Oh, that's so good.
On that note.
Oh, feel good.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you have a story you'd like to share, or if there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover on the podcast, we'd love to hear your ideas.
Get in touch with us through email or our social media pages, links below.